Remember that good old saying, beans are good for your heart the more you eat, but does that really go with peas as well? I mean, peas are part of the legume family, so would that have the same effect like beans does? I don't know. Let's grow some peas. What's going on, my plant peoples? I am the ADHD gardener, where I use gardening, houseplants, and humor as a much needed form of mental health therapy, sobriety, and learning how to navigate this crazy ass world with tips, tricks, and hacks that we can find in our garden. And peas is where it's at today. And what can we learn about peas? Well, you know what? Hey, they give us second chances. And I'll tell you about peas. Why do they give us second chances? Because you can grow twice in 1 year. Just like the good old peas, if something doesn't happen right or something goes wrong, hey, it's never too late to try again. And that is where we get the opportunity to grow some peas. This is gonna be a growing guide. So after I harvest some of these peas that I have right here, I'm gonna let you guys know about how to grow them for the fall time. But right now, if you look in my greenhouse, I have some peas from the springtime. If you were to look inside of my greenhouse right now, you're gonna see a bunch of leftover peas on my trellis. Those peas were from the springtime, and I left them there specifically, one, because I forgot about them, but two, I actually wanted them to dry on the vine so I can get some pea seed. Notice how flat this is. This is super flat. This is a sugar snap pea. Now, if we look over here, this one is way fatter. This one is a regular pea. Look how fat that one is compared to the flat one. If you don't have a lot of pea seeds and everything, or you just happen to leave or accidentally forget all about your peas from earlier in the springtime, you can save those seeds, crack them open, and drop them right in the ground right now as we speak. In order to use the peas for seeds, then you have to let the pea pods completely dry out. If you're not going to be letting them completely dry, you might as well just take them off right then and there and just eat them or cook with them or something like that. When you are having your peas on the pods and everything like that and you're letting them dry, they may develop what looks like mold. Okay, they're gonna have a bunch of black specks. That's because of the cold temperature. I know it doesn't look the best and doesn't look the greatest, but you can still use them because that's just the way your pea pods are gonna react with the cold, damp weather. That's just how it is. But the peas inside are still viable, which is what I'm gonna be doing, cracking them open, and I'm gonna be using those pea pods to sow right now for the fall time. I believe we have a visitor, Chip. What are you doing? You don't belong in my greenhouse, dude. If you don't have any pea pods from the springtime like I have right here, it's all good. We can just get some right here from the store, or if you have them saved up. I actually have some in a jar from last year. I have a bunch of different varieties. I have sugar snap peas, also regular peas, all up and mixed in there. Now you can, of course you would want to label. Of course you would want to label. Jack, label. But yes, you can actually tell the difference. It is all about the size and the dimples that happens onto your peas. Your standard green peas are going to be a different color than your sugar snap peas. Did you know that they are part of the legume family? So remember the whole beans and giving you kind of like gassy stuff? I wonder, does that apply to peas as well? Sure does. It definitely makes you gassy. Well, I guess I'm screwed, considering they are part of the family, but they are super good for you. You're going to be growing a lot of different peas in my greenhouse. Do you need a greenhouse to grow some peas? No, you don't. Why? Because these peas are cold hardy. So yes, peas are cold hardy. Now, not all legumes are going to be cold hardy. Up north in Pennsylvania, we do not have time for the entire legume family, and that includes beans. Beans are a no-go if you live up north like I am. If you live down south, I'm sure you probably have more time because you got more heat, you lucky stiffs that you live down there. But up here, up north, all we got are peas. Grab your pea pods from the springtime or grab them from your envelope and let's go get the planting. Now, peas love a neutral soil. You know what? Their pH is not picky at all. You know how the blueberries are picky as heck and some type of other plants are super picky because they love acidic soil? Not the pea. Basically, any kind of standard soil. If you're growing indoors, indoor potting soil. But just know that it's going to need a lot of nutrients for indoors because of the soil is different from outside to inside. The outside soil, it just has a lot more nutrients than the soil that you have on the inside. So remember that. Outside soil, compost is your friend. I'm all about compost. You can totally buy compost in any of your local garden nurseries. I'm sure they must have somewhere some kind of compost. Or maybe you make your own like mine. That works too. You are going to need a lot of water. The larger the seed pods or the seeds itself, it's going to require a lot more water. Now, if you are growing them indoors, let's say this is springtime and you want to grow them inside to transplant them out, they do not transplant well. Just throwing that out there. They're not going to transplant well. This is why we direct sow. If you're growing in pots and containers, don't forget a little bit of extra fertilizer, because yes, you can grow some peas in containers too. So you're going to need some compost or fertilizer. These grow really well in little compact areas. This says about 4 inches apart. That's basically what I do, 4 inches apart. You can really grow peas in a very, very small space, which is another reason why I love growing this for small apartments. If you only have a little container outside or whatever on your balcony or something, you can fit a lot of peas inside of one container. So that's pretty good. I've even tested the limits and grown them 3 inches apart. That totally works too. Just remember, the closer you grow your peas together, or any plant for that matter, and those roots start touching, they're gonna start competing. And we all know about survival of the fittest. That applies to plants too. Can they grow in sun? Can they grow in shade? Yes, they grow well in sun. Okay, ideally they love the sun. Which one does better? Of course the full sun will always work better because you get more sun. But will they work great in a partial shade to a shade spot? Yes, they will. Will they grow the best? Will they get very stringy and leggy? Yeah, they will. But will they grow? They will. And will they give you peas? They will. I keep mentioning beans. That's because they grow very similar to peas. They actually have the same requirements, and they also give the same nitrogen back into the soil, which is why people grow a lot of peas as cover crops, because they work very well for that. Not only can you eat it, they offer, some good nitrogen to the soil. So that's going to work out great for me. Peas vine like crazy. So you would definitely have to find a way of trellising them up somewhere. One, they will take over your entire ground, and you don't want that. So you want to go up all the time, which is why I'm always saving my peas for my indoor greenhouse, because they just trellis right off of the, the cattle panel right here. You can use anything as a trellis, okay? You can use corn stalks. Remember, beans are used, with corn to grow. You don't have to use that. You can use anything. Your imagination, just run wild with it. I'm going to mention beans again because I'm thinking peas grow just like beans. They are part of the same legume family. Now, if you're using beans outside as a cover crop, just like most people do. I mean, I know I've used beans before as a cover crop. Why can't you use peas as a cover crop? And that's what I'm going to be doing too, because not only can you eat the pea pods, you can eat the plant, but yes, the plant is giving you even more return with nitrogen, because I keep throwing beans out there. Remember, part of the same family. I can't stress that enough. If you only have a small backyard, or if you only have like a small balcony and you want to continue to grow peas outside, even if it is very, very chilly, you can always, make a makeshift type of greenhouse. I've done plenty of makeshift greenhouses. All you need is some good, greenhouse fabric to cover your plants. Hold on to a little bit of the heat and humidity and like that. That would be great. But is it necessary? Absolutely not, because again, they're cold hardy. They can withstand a frost or two. Remember, you are eating them in their tender stage. If you wait and wait to pick them, the longer they mature, the harder the pea pods get. And then on top of that, they're probably not even going to be as tender as before. So just know that. And remember, if you've surpassed your time of picking them or harvesting them, it's all good because you can save them for seeds. I really hope you enjoyed this video and you got some good information out of it. Let me know down in the comments below. Have you tried growing some peas? Have you tried growing some peas to save and store and eat? Or even use it as a cover crop? I would love to know, because you know what? Hey, I'm always experimenting in my garden, and I love to know what other people are doing too. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to smash that like button. I really appreciate it. Also, you can catch me on Facebook, Instagram, and on TikTok. And until the next episode, you guys, where you and me both are going to be growing our happiness one plant at a time, one day at a time. God bless you all. Until the next episode, peace and love.